The Secretary of State in regard to the president being on the ballot without some proof or viewing the long-form birth certificate, and they quote a letter, and it's third hand. And when I read the quotes today, I thought, that's kind of odd. I've met and I know the Secretary of State, Ken Bennett, and he normally stays out of this kind of stuff. I've not heard him quote any of these things. So I called him today. We talked about this. He's kind enough to join me to clarify a few things. Mr. Bennett, welcome to the show.
Hi, Mike. How are you?
I'm doing well, and I appreciate you coming on for a few minutes to clarify this. I want to catch everybody up. The New Times wrote this story, and the headline says, Ken Bennett, Arizona Secretary of State, plays to the birthers. So that's their premise, is they are saying that you want to run for governor, so you are trying to pacify the birthers by saying that the president of the United States may not be on the ballot in Arizona unless you see proof of his citizenship.
Well, they got it all right, except for the last bit. Well, first of all, I'm not playing to the birthers. I'm not a birther. I believe that the president was born in Hawaii, or at least I hope he was. But my responsibility as Secretary of State is to make sure that the ballots in Arizona are correct and that those people whose names are on the ballots have met the qualifications for the office that they're seeking. And so when Sheriff Arpaio's posse released a press conference a few weeks ago or a month ago or whenever it was that the birth certificate posted on the White House website might be fraudulent, I started getting, as you might imagine, literally over 1,200 emails from people saying, well, that's proof. You should require the president to produce the original of his birth certificate in order to be on the ballot of Arizona. And to all of those people, I wrote back saying, that's an impossible request. We can't ask anyone to produce the original. I couldn't get my own original birth certificate from the Arizona Vital Records Department if I wanted to. All I could get would be a certified copy. But I'm not even asking that. One of the people that emailed me pointed out that Hawaii has a special provision in their law that allows other government officials from other states to request what's called a verification in lieu of a certified copy of a birth certificate. So I'm not asking for the certified copy of the birth certificate at all. I simply went on Hawaii's website, downloaded a form, went and got a $5 money order, and I sent in a request asking them to just confirm or verify whether they have a birth certificate in their records for Barack Hussein Obama II, born on August 4th, 1961, to whatever his parents' names are and whatever hospital and whatever else is on the... Just basically ask them to say, do you have a document that has all of those elements on it or in it? And I was frankly expecting that they would very quickly and very simply say yes. 8 weeks later, they haven't said it. I can't seem to get them to say yes.
And they have. So you've not received anything in reply?
Correct. What I've received are some emails saying, we'll send us proof of the laws in Arizona that give you the authority to ask for such a piece of information, prove to us that you have responsibilities over creating the ballots, or that this is a regular government function and you're responsible for it. So we've sent back an email identifying all the state laws that clearly indicate that the Secretary of State is the chief elections officer in the state of Arizona. And every 4 years, we have to receive the nomination papers from all of the different presidential candidates that are running for the different parties, and we have to certify those, and then we send a list out to the 15 Arizona counties, and that tells them what names are going to be on the list. And so we've responded to Hawaii that, yes, this is a legitimate government function, and it's something that I have responsibility for, and we simply asked them to confirm or verify that they have a birth certificate for the person in question, Barack Hussein Obama II, on August 4th, 1961.
Okay.
And for some reason, for 8 weeks, they haven't been willing to say yes. They could say yes tomorrow, and the whole thing goes away. But essentially, if they can't say yes to that simple question, then it makes me wonder if we have to take it to another level. And one way or the other, we have to have some simple verification that people are qualified for their office if their names are going to be on the ballot here in Arizona.
So is this something standard that you do? In other words, are there other candidates that have to, when you say they have to meet this requirement, what do other candidates do to qualify for the ballot?
Well, the presidential office, per the United States Constitution, is the only office that requires a person to be a natural-born citizen.
Okay.
If you want to run for governor or U.S. senator or congressman or state legislature or whatever else, city councilman or anything else, usually all you have to prove is that you're of minimum age, in Arizona's 25, that you live in the district that you're running to represent, and usually not much more than, and that you're a registered voter. And so typically for all of the offices in Arizona, we ask the candidates to simply fill out a nomination form, and they kind of self-swear or attest that they live in their district, they're the minimum age, and they meet the qualifications for their office. And we try to go through and verify the ones that we can verify on their face. You know, we can check whether somebody is registered to vote in Arizona, and, but they have to turn in so many signatures to qualify their name on the ballot, and we kind of make sure that if they said they turned in 800 signatures, we count the signatures and say, yes, they turned in 800. From there, if somebody wants to challenge any part of that, if someone says, well, Bennett turned in 800 signatures and he needs 400 valid ones, and we've gone through and checked and over 500 of his signatures are invalid or not from people in his district, and therefore he doesn't have enough signatures, that process usually works through the courts. But the things that we can verify on their face, are they a registered voter in Arizona, and are they a minimum age? Those are the kinds of things that we do, verify and make sure that they filled out their paperwork complete.
But
in this case, the president is the only office in the country that has this requirement for the United States Constitution to be a natural-born citizen, not just a citizen.
Well, so do you have, what kind of proof have you gotten or required from the other candidates that would be on the ballot in November?
Well, I don't know if other states have this mechanism like Hawaii was. I was just trying to take advantage of what I thought was a very simple and straightforward request for Hawaii, that if I asked whatever government official they wanted to choose to respond, to simply say, yes, we have a birth certificate for this guy, then that would be it. If they don't or won't do that, then I have to start thinking about, well, are we going to make all of the other candidates, because we should treat everybody the same, are we going to require everybody else? What we have been planning on doing is just making sure that the form that everybody turns in from all the different parties has a statement on there that the candidate themselves swears to meeting all of the qualifications for their office. But if Hawaii can't or won't verify a very simple request, which is contemplated in their own state laws, that for other government officials in other states who have a need to know, just answer the question, yes, do you have a birth certificate for this guy? If they're not willing or can't do that, we might have some other thinking to do.
So if they won't, if you don't get an answer from Hawaii in time, if they won't comply, if they refuse to comply with this, will you remove the president from the ballot? Will you exclude him from the ballot?
That's possible. Or the other option would be I would ask all of the candidates, including the president, maybe to submit a certified copy of their birth certificate. But I don't want to do that. We want to do everything as much the same as we have. Turn in your paperwork, tell us that you meet the qualifications, and sign it. I just simply was trying to take advantage, as was pointed out to me by one of the folks that wrote me in this situation, that there was a kind of a unique opportunity with Hawaii to simply ask them to verify. Don't have to print the copy. You don't have to bring it to me. You don't have to do anything but just send me an email back saying, yes, we have a birth certificate for this guy here.
And is there any suspicion? I mean, I'm not trying to put words into your mouth, but when we talked about this earlier today, you seemed surprised that you just haven't gotten an answer back in 8 weeks. Do you suspect, why would they be stalling? Is it just because they get all these requests and they're tired of it? Or why would they be stalling on just putting this to bed and just saying, yeah, we've got the document?
Well, the only thing they have told us is that they're kind of just tired of all the different requests. But to deal with that, they have the copy of the birth certificate that's also posted on the White House website, and a few other documents that they have produced over the last few months or a year and a half or whatever it's been. They'll have all of those things posted on their website, and I would imagine that most people are directed to just go to the website and you can download the certificate, or you can look at the letter from such a person to such a person saying that I watched it being copied and all that. This is a request, though, that is coming from another state, legitimate government official who has a responsibility over this activity that occurs every 4 years. And I'm not asking them to make a copy of anything or do anything other than follow their own state law to say, verify, just tell me yes or no. Do you have a certificate? And I think the answer, I hope, is yes. But do you have a birth certificate for Barack Hussein Obama II, born on August 4th, 61? All they got to do is email me back saying yes, and it's over.
Okay.
But they haven't for 8 weeks, and I'm just stunned that they're making it so hard.
Yeah, it is kind of odd, and I'm anxious to see how this goes. And ultimately, you're the one that has to make this decision, right? So you have to make the decision whether or not that he is if he has met the requirements to be on the ballot, and then what you're going to do about it. That decision falls solely on you.
It does, but it's also on me for all of the other candidates.
Right.
We've contacted all the other candidates and told them what they're going to have to do, and it's not very hard, and I can't imagine that it should be very hard for a wife to simply respond back, yes, we have a certificate for this guy.
Okay. All right. Well, Mr. Secretary, I appreciate it. I always appreciate your time, and I'm anxious to see how this goes moving forward.
All right. Thanks, Mike.
All right. Thank you very much. That is the Arizona Secretary of State, Ken Bennett.